What a gift for us to be able to see more clearly those whom God sees, and then, together, to have the enviable task of working out the specifics of the life, death, resurrection, and ascension of Jesus. Edward T. Welch. A note to readers: how to use this book. I have written this book for anyone who desires to come alongside a victim or victims of domestic abuse. Maybe you are a church leader, friend, or counselor, and you find yourself dealing with the many layers of complexity that unfold as you encounter an abusive marriage. You are sorting through many questions amid the chaos. How should you proceed? Perhaps what you have heard from a wife has left you asking, is this abuse? Or you may be observing her from afar and wondering what is happening with her. You feel the weight of those questions and know that you need to answer them correctly if you are going to provide sound counsel. Abuse is easy to miss, but it is even easier to minimize. As a young counselor, I did not possess the wisdom I needed in order to minister to the oppressed. I had much to learn about oppression, its particular wounds, and the way it entangles its victims. Now, after years of working with oppressed women, I understand what rules the hearts of oppressors and how they seek to control their victims, as well as to control others' perception of reality. We must understand the dynamics of abuse in order to minister to its victims effectively. Domestic abuse can be disorienting. It can initially be hard to get a handle on what is happening in a marriage. I hope to pass on to you what I have learned so that you will have clarity about this issue. I hope to equip you to think biblically about oppression and to teach you how to be a trusted guide for those who are enslaved and ensnared. I have sought to be both biblical and practical in every chapter of this book. I want you to grow in your understanding of what is at the root of oppression and what the Bible says about it, while also giving you the means to create pathways to safety and restoration for victims. This book acknowledges the evils of domestic abuse and prioritizes protection for those who are affected by it. My goal is not just for you to understand what makes a marriage abusive, but to help you to understand the particular hearts and situations that you will encounter. No two cases of abuse are the same, but all oppression is destructive and dishonors both victims and God. So this book strives to help you to offer thoughtful care to the particular victims whom God has placed in your path. Its goal is to prepare you to do three things. As a helper, you will learn to pick up on cues that something is wrong. You will learn more about the dynamics of abuse, the heart of the abuser, and the damage that is done to the abused. You will learn how to draw out stories so that you can get clarity on the situations you encounter and their severity. This may result in your ruling out the presence of abuse. You will become equipped to provide wise and Christ-centered counsel as you navigate the complex and often dangerous dynamics of abuse. Format. The first 5 chapters of this book provide an essential framework for what follows. You may be tempted to skip them and dive into part 2 or 3. Don't. You must understand what is at the root of oppression and wade through the many nuances of how to help victims before you can best use the tools that uncover different types of abuse and bring healing. This book has features of a workbook. There are reflection questions throughout each chapter to help you to process what you are learning. But merely understanding oppression is not enough. You need to understand the contours of each person's story and heart. Thus, this book includes many resources that are designed for you to copy and reuse. These tools will help you to make evaluations and set key ministry priorities for each person you are walking with. Men may be victims of domestic abuse, and this book's material can be applied to male victims. However, the majority of my own experience is with counseling women who are in oppressive marriages, and the language I use will reflect this. I will refer to the wives as victims and will share stories in which husbands are the perpetrators of abuse. This is consistent with what we typically encounter in our churches, because domestic abuse is gendered. Men are more likely to be the